It looks like there's another update involving Jaylen Brown, this time surrounding comments made by his father about wanting to confront Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith. As many of you know, Jaylen Brown has previously accused ESPN of helping shape the public narrative around him. He even went as far as saying that Stephen A. Smith has become the face of what he believes is an organized effort to damage his reputation, impact his career, and influence the way fans view him. On top of that, we've also seen certain analytics-based rankings claiming that Jaylen Brown would only be the 7th best option on an NBA team, which to me is an unbelievable take. That's why I always say you can't rely solely on analytics when it comes to evaluating basketball. Numbers have their place, but they can never replace actually watching the games. Too many of these models are built around simulations, advanced metrics, and projections that don't always reflect what's happening on the court. The eye test still matters, and sometimes it tells a completely different story than the spreadsheets. So, with all of that as the backdrop, we're going to break down exactly what was said, take a look at Marcellus Brown's response, and also hear what Kendrick Perkins had to say after being mentioned. Big Perk made it clear he wasn't backing down either.
Base of that, but, the organization, the players, they were all in agreement. They all knew what I meant by that.
Optics is everything. They're looking at like, bro, you scored less, you rebounded less, you assisted less, and you won a championship. In the year that you scored more, did X, Y, and Z, you lost, and you said that's your best season. It's just the optic.
Getting on my last damn nerves, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he's so full of shit, I want to throw up. Suddenly, we're unethical because we're telling you how your comments came across. One of your asses in France. You can't deal with the heat here in America and justify the way that you've acted since you got bounced out of the playoffs. Nobody's done anything to you, Jaylen Brown. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't even be upset because this should be an indication to you about how small people can become. I'm unethical. I'm the leader. ESPN, the entire network. With all the love the network shows you, we're all unethical and I'm the leader. I didn't know you would come across as that soft, bro. You want to talk about accountability and all of that other stuff? Fine, dog. You're welcome to come on the show. I keep talking about that dungeon you in. I'll show you what a studio's supposed to look like. I got one. You want to talk shit about me? You want to question my ethics or whatever? Name the time and place, bro. You name the time, not the place. We're going to do it on my set because I ain't coming to that dungeon.
So when we made these comments, because I say we, it wasn't just Stephen A. I said it, Wilborn said it, and he attacked Stephen A. But after that, because these comments were made on May the 4th, on First Take, 2026. Jay, can you read this text message real quick? I didn't even have this number saved.
Sure.
But read that text.
Former Celtic here. Keep speaking the facts. Pound emoji. Much respect.
Okay, cool. So he was texting me that because of what I just said. We had a conversation about Jaylen Brown. Then I get another text that said, hey, JB tripping. Another text from a former player that played with the Celtics. JB, lack of accountability, right? And then I went to X because it's one of my favorite social media platforms. And during that time, JB, I think it was maybe the same day or the next day, he had players, legends, that don't agree with you, bro. They don't agree with you. They don't like the way that this looked. And what you said and how you said it during that time, it didn't make it look good. Everybody already got speculations about him and Jason Tatum relationship. Oh, and by the way, we still haven't seen Jason Tatum on your Twitch yet.
My son is very educated enough to know what to say and what not to say, what's off limits. And Big Perk, you wrong for jumping against your teammate, nigga. I don't like that. Excuse the N-word, but that is. You know what I'm saying? Watch your mouth, boy.
Okay. The champ is back.
But sometimes we learn from I'm a father, right? And sometimes my daughter's, she's in grad school right now. I went to visit her over the weekend. I realize now when I talk to her, I'm learning from her, and you might, take things differently than how Jaylen might handle it, right?
He handling it like he's supposed to. He's always handled himself like a man, like a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Very respectful kids I raised, man. Let me tell you something. Very respectful kids, all of them. You know what I'm saying? And how he handled that kind of pressure, I commend him.
Yeah.
Because me, I'm different. I'm getting your face, Stephen A. Yeah, I'm coming to see you.
Marcellus, why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm coming to see you, Stephen A.
What would you
I
say?
called you a couple times, Stephen A., and you didn't answer. But it's okay. I just wanted to talk about it man to man. What's your problems? Why are you attacking him? Why do you attack the black community? Go attack the white community. Oh, that's right. You getting that check to do that. We unplugged about this. We own it.
Well, you know, in all fairness, Stephen A., Perk, they all got a job to do.
They got a job to do. Pick on black guy.
You know,
pick on the black
and
guy.
that's how they, well, whatever that job is, this is how they choose.
Yeah,
to
I
do
ain't
it.
in the league, so come get me.
Okay, yo.
So now we've got Kendrick Perkins responding by basically saying he's ready to handle the situation however Marcellus Brown wants to handle it. From everything that's been said, it sounds like Marcellus originally wanted to speak directly with Stephen A. Smith. And honestly, you can understand why a father might eventually reach that point. If you constantly see people criticizing your son and painting him in a negative light, especially when you don't believe he's done anything deserving of that level of backlash, it's only natural for frustration to build over time. We've also watched Jaylen Brown become much more vocal online, defending himself whenever he feels a false narrative is gaining traction. Some fans think he's responding too often, while others believe that if you don't challenge misinformation, people eventually start accepting it as fact. From Jaylen's perspective, it seems like he's trying to tell his side of the story before someone else's version becomes the one everyone believes. It's an interesting position for an NBA player, because years ago, athletes didn't really have that opportunity. Whatever the media reported usually became the public perception, and there wasn't much players could do to push back. We've seen situations where certain players were labeled as locker room problems or difficult personalities, and before long, teams wanted nothing to do with them. Meanwhile, fans would be left wondering how a talented player could suddenly be out of the league. Today, social media has changed that dynamic. Players like Jaylen Brown can immediately respond, explain their side, and challenge stories in real time. Now, does that mean Jaylen Brown has been right about every single thing? Of course not. Nobody gets everything right. But I do think it's fair to examine where these narratives come from instead of accepting every headline at face value. I also keep thinking back to some of Stephen A. Smith's other public exchanges, including his interactions involving Dana White and Alexis Ohanian, Serena Williams' husband. In those moments, Stephen A. remained relatively measured, even after being challenged publicly. Ohanian openly pushed back against him during an ESPN appearance after previously voicing his disagreement, and despite the tension, the conversation never escalated into anything beyond a verbal exchange. That's why I think it's worth looking at how these different situations are handled and why certain stories receive more attention than others. At the end of the day, we also have to ask why Jaylen Brown continues to be viewed the way he is when so much of what we see from him involves basketball, community work, and charitable efforts. That doesn't mean every criticism is unfair, but it also doesn't mean every narrative should be accepted without taking a closer look. It's always important to do your own research instead of simply following whatever conversation happens to be trending online. Another question some people have raised is whether any of this has something to do with Jaylen Brown's involvement with Ice Cube's Big Three League. There have been previous reports and public comments surrounding the relationship between the NBA and the Big Three, including claims that the league discouraged certain business partnerships. When Jaylen Brown participated in the Big Three All-Star event, it caught a lot of people's attention because many assumed NBA players weren't allowed to take part. Seeing him participate made some fans wonder if there was more to the story than they originally thought. Looking at the bigger picture, there are also former NBA players who have found opportunities through the Big Three after their NBA careers ended. If another league is creating jobs and allowing former players to stay involved in basketball, some people believe there could be more collaboration instead of competition. That's been